Tens of thousands of migrants are crossing the U.S. southern border. Many of them started their journey thousands of kilometers away in Venezuela, a country that's spiraling both politically and economically. Many young people have decided it's worth the risk, even though the trek north is brimming with danger. In the third part of our U.S. border series, Toni Waterman looks at what's fueling the mass migration and the ones being left behind.
It's a waiting game for Alejandra Salas, waiting by the phone for her daughter to call, waiting for news on her only grandchild, waiting to hear they've made it to America safely.
Yo estaba como que un nudo en mi garganta. Chévere fue la despedida. Pero cuando ellas se montaron en ese bus, que me dice, me acuerdo que me llama por teléfono y me dice, mamá, ya vamos saliendo.
Alejandra's daughter, Perilous, fled Venezuela with her 3-year-old daughter, Kendall, a month ago, already traveling through 7 countries on the near 5,000-kilometer journey. She leaves behind a country in political turmoil, an economy in perpetual tatters. Unemployment is high, inflation is soaring, and simple necessities like food and safe drinking water are out of reach for many. Even as a pharmacist, Perilous' meager wages, her mom says, weren't enough to live on.
Mamá, mi hija está creciendo y yo quiero que ella crezca con una educación. Y aquí no la va a tener. Porque, fíjate, tú trabajas de tareas dirigidas. Déjate de trabajar en un...
Perilous is part of a mass exodus from once oil-rich Venezuela. According to UN data, 7.7 million people have fled the country since 2015. The vast majority are hosted in neighboring Latin American and Caribbean countries. But with opportunities limited, many are making the perilous journey north to the U.S. southern border. More than 110,000 Venezuelans have arrived already this year.
There are indications that border crossings could spike further in the coming weeks and months as a record number of people pass through the Darien Gap, separating South America from Panama. That jungle is a gateway for many of these migrants as they march towards the U.S.-Mexico border. And according to the United Nations, more than 330,000 people have made that dangerous trek so far this year.
Large numbers have entered here in Eagle Pass, Texas, traversing the swift currents of the Rio Grande River separating the U.S. and Mexico, before carefully maneuvering through dense, sharp razor wire.
Where are you coming from?
Venezuela.
From Venezuela?
Yeah.
And how was the journey?
It's difficult. Mexico is very bad.
Many, including this woman, are traveling with young children, some only a few months old. Once on American soil, the migrants are processed by Border Patrol. Some are deported, but many are released into the U.S. with their cases pending, sparking, experts say, a wave of chain migration from others hoping to enter the U.S.
And so once you hear that story that, hey, I was able to make it, I'm in Chicago, I'm in Dallas, I'm in Atlanta, I'm in New York, I'm in Phoenix, and I'm working, then that gives people a little bit of hope that they might just buy that lottery ticket and take off.
Also instilling hope, policy changes from the White House. In September, the Biden administration, under intense pressure from Democrats, said it would allow nearly 500,000 Venezuelan migrants already in the U.S. to work and live legally for 18 months. Allowing employment could help relieve the strain Democratic cities like New York and Chicago are under to house and feed the tens of thousands of migrants bussed north by Texas Republican Governor Greg Abbott.
Hemmed in.
Critics call it a political stunt, but it's brought the urgency of the issue to the doorsteps of some Democratic cities for the first time.
What you're dealing with in New York, what you are seeing and witnessing in the state, is a tiny fraction of what is happening every single day in the state of Texas.
Earlier this month, the White House said it would resume deportation flights to Venezuela. Many migrants, though, seem undeterred. Experts say political change in Venezuela is the only way to really stem the exodus. But with the country's long history of sidelining opposition candidates, true reform seems remote. Alejandra Salas says her daughter called after passing through the Darien Gap, but she doesn't know if they've reached the U.S. yet, leaving her, like many parents in Venezuela, in a desperate state of longing, but also knowing their children can't stay. Toni, Waterman, CNA, Eagle Pass, Texas.